We just passed 10K. Like literally just now, I was looking at the numbers and we passed 10K. I cannot believe this. Like a lot of you have been saying in the comments that you subscribed like a few days ago when we were at like 1,000, 2,000. We're at 10K now. How insane is that? I've said in the comments, but I'm equally as confused as you are, guys. This is crazy. Someone also said that they're getting annoyed because I don't look at the camera much. I'm sorry. I just started like a few weeks ago. I'm a bit camera shy, you know. So it'll get better, and the setup is also going to get better. And I'm also planning on making a movie reaction channel. And I already know my setup is going to look like this. I mean, how cool would it be to be able to watch movies in bed and have like snacks and stuff? Just an idea, guys. Just an idea. How do you feel about it? And then also, there's a lot of people asking for my name. I'm not gonna disclose my own name, but I was thinking now that we're at 10K, I think it's the perfect time to make up a nickname for me or whatever you guys want to call me or this channel, because it's a bit weird to just say like Finnish girl did that, Finnish girl said this. So leave your nickname suggestions down below. We have to come up with a nickname. You guys need to be able to call me something. And I think a lot of you have watched a lot of videos from me, probably know me pretty well, so I'm excited to see what suggestions you have. But with all that said, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be reacting to where Georgia's ultra wealthy live. Also, again, sorry for my voice, still sick. I have my lemon water tea here that I'll be sipping on. And yeah, I made a video about Georgia recently, about the Georgia's most beautiful places, and it was awesome. So yeah, let's see where Georgia's ultra wealthy live now. I'm excited. Let's get into the video.
There's an estate here in Georgia with a 350,000 gallon pool where actual buffalo roam in the front yard. And that's not even the wildest part about where Georgia's ultra wealthy choose to live. There are places here where neighbors...
I love buffaloes. They look very, very chill. Apparently they're not chill at all. Apparently they're very dangerous, but I just think they look very chill.
Arrive by yacht, where driveways are measured in miles, not feet, and where estates are so big they might as well have their own zip code. Look, everybody knows that Buckhead is where Atlanta's money lives, but what they don't know is that there's a former Treasury Secretary that bought an entire island. There's a $40 million beachfront property where presidents stay. Tyler Perry's compound, it's got its own airstrip. Today I'm breaking down 10 areas where the ultra rich in Georgia actually choose to live. Now before we
All this in Georgia? I thought there was a bunch of places last time I watched a video on Georgia, but apparently there's more.
dive in, if money were no object, would you rather have a lake house, a mountain house, or an oceanfront compound? Let me know in the comments.
Comment down below also which one would you pick. I'd pick a mountain house, I think.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious. If Georgia has the Beverly Hills, it's Buckhead. This is where old Atlanta money meets new tech wealth, where tree-lined streets hide estates that are worth more than entire neighborhoods. Steve Harvey lives in Tyler Perry's old mansion that he bought for $17.5 million. It's on 17 acres right on the Chattahoochee River. This property has an underground ballroom. The market here is insane. 3391 Tuxedo Road sold last year for $19.8 million off market. And then again this year on market for $15.75 million. Even at the lower price, it's still 17,000 square feet of Scandinavian design with a Japanese flow. Now the property taxes alone on a property like this.
That house was absolutely gorgeous. I likes.
This costs more than what most people make in salary in a given year. From the estates that line West Paces Ferry to Tuxedo Park, Chastain Park, Haynes Manor, you'd think with all of this, Buckhead would be at the end of the story. 3 hours away, however, to the north of the city, people are paying Buckhead prices to get as far away from Atlanta as possible. Lake Burton is one of Georgia's best kept secrets. Crystal clear water, mountain views, and estates that would make even even Buckhead jealous. Lake Burton is where Alan Jackson built his compound. It wasn't so long ago that Nick Saban sold his lakefront property for nearly $11 million, and last year,
Let's just imagine for a while, guys, that we have big money. I don't know if I would go for a lake house. See, we have a little lake house in Finland. It's very typical to have one in Finland as a summer cabin. And I absolutely love it. But would I live next to a lake? I don't know why, but I just feel like I would rather have more land than water. But this is so pretty though.
a $7 million sale happened right on the lake. These are Buckhead prices for a lake house in Georgia. When you live on Lake Burton, your mornings start with a mist rolling off the water. Your neighbors arrive by boat. The local marina sees more $1 million yachts than pickup trucks. But unlike Buckhead, nobody's watching. Nobody's asking you what you do. That's the whole point. You want that isolation. Now, some people want land over water. They want real land, hundreds of acres for it, and drive
You literally read my mind.
north of the city and you get to Milton and Alpharetta and something changes. Things slow down. Gates get taller and driveways, well, they start to disappear into the trees. Now, one such property that has that type of really long driveway is a property that's in the market currently for $28 million. It's 284 acres in Milton, 171 zoned inside the city limits of Milton, another 113 on the unincorporated Cherokee side. You want the whole thing? $28 million. You only want the 171 zoned in Milton? No problem. $20 million. It's one of the largest private estates in all of North Atlanta. Inside suburban Atlanta, these aren't just houses anymore.
That is crazy.
They're compounds. We're talking about full equestrian facilities, private lakes, horse trails that go for miles. 45 minutes to the airport on a good day. Yet it feels like Kentucky horse country. This is the kind of place that your kids can have a horse, a dirt bike track, and a private lake. Now, you'd think that 284 acres would be enough for anybody, but down near Savannah, someone's selling an estate that's nearly 10 times as big. But first, if you're enjoying today's video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.
What do you do with so much land? Do you even have the time to see, I was thinking big money, but I was thinking big as in if I had, even if it was a little yard, I'd be happy, but this is insane. Horse tracks on your own property, come on. Come on. That's awesome though. For whoever made it that far, amazing. Good for you. Really, this is awesome. I just think this is for me, it would be insane to have that much space. I mean, people probably have very creative ways to use it. I think a lot of people would build stables and stuff like that, I'm guessing, but
Just south of Savannah sits one of the most exclusive coastal enclaves you've never heard of, Hampton Island Preserve. There's a 2,100 acre estate listed here for $52.5 million. It comes with 17 bedrooms, 23 bathrooms, its own private island. Not saying that it's on a private island. It comes with its own private island. Also on Hampton Island, apparently some guy named Ben Affleck lives here. He's got 87 acres or something. On Hampton Island, your neighbors aren't just wealthy, they're invisible. Miles of untouched marshland, deep water access, and the kind of privacy that usually doesn't exist anymore. Pair that with Savannah's historic district where 19th century mansions routinely go for upwards of $5 to $10 million, and you've got a great pairing of old world charm meets new world money. The privacy here is extreme, but for some buyers, they want luxury with a built-in social life. So next we're going to talk about the Northside Country Club belt, and we're talking about the Manor, Country Club of the South, the River Club in Swanee. These should all be golf.
okay, I can't help but think when I see these types of yards, how much work it takes to keep them clean and everything nice and done like this. that's a lot of work that goes into that, and like to maintain a house like this. But this is like incredibly beautiful. Look at the windows and everything. Oh,
in Swanee. These should all be golf communities, but instead, they've become places where the guy who signs your mortgage probably lives. Stretching across North Fulton and Gwinnett, this is where those Saturday morning foursomes usually turn into $1 million deals. And yeah, we're talking about golf. Yeah, the houses are nice, there's no question, but that's not why people buy in these clubs. They buy for the network. The same faces at the clubhouses become the faces that you see at the charity galas, at the private schools, and the boardrooms. Now, the initiation and membership fees alone can cost more than a Tesla, but that's the point, right? They want to keep their circles small. Now, country clubs are great, but they're not for everyone. And for these next celebrities, they went off the beaten path. Now, this might come as a surprise, but do you know who owns Georgia's largest property? If you guessed Rick Ross, the music mogul, you would be absolutely right. I'm talking about a 54,000 square foot.
why do I feel like I've seen music videos done at Rick Ross's house? This is all in Georgia? This is crazy. You're crazy. What would you even do with this much space? This looks like a hotel of sorts.
Home in Fayetteville, Georgia. So we're to the south of Metro Atlanta. This house is huge. It has over 109 rooms. The dining room can
109 rooms. What?
comfortably seat over 100 guests. It's got a theater room which seats for 135 people. The pool in the backyard, it's one of the largest pools in the US. It has over 350,000 gallons. Now, this is the former Evander Holyfield property, and it was purchased by Ross in 2014 for $5.8 million. When he bought it, it came with 235 acres. Since, he's bought land around it, and he's accumulated 322 acres. By the
Damn, go Ross.
way, those buffalo, I was talking about this property. He's got 2 buffalo roaming in the front yard, and they were all over the news a couple years ago because those 2 things got out and started roaming the neighbors' yards. Now, this property is so big, it's got its own Google review at 4.5 stars. People are literally reviewing this property like it's a tourist attraction.
Imagine like your home in a Google review. That is crazy. Wait, must drive by if you're a Rick Ross fan. Being at Rick Ross' house was a great experience. For more, look on my YouTube. Just search Young Gang. Looks like each point makes a pentagram, and dude has his house right outside a school.
And then we've got Jake
That's crazy. No privacy.
Paul, the YouTube sensation turned professional boxer. Now, if you're not familiar with Jake Paul, he's the guy that most recently fought Mike Tyson. He likes to fight anybody old. Honestly, the older, the better. But nonetheless, he just bought roughly 5,700 acres in South Georgia near the Florida border. It's called the Southlands Plantation for a cool $39 million. It's one of the largest recreation deals in Georgia history. There's a
39 million. What? Damn. That's crazy.
acre fishing lake, 30-acre duck pond, 4.5 miles of lake frontage on Lake Seminole. He's buying land, gonna hold on to it. We'll see what happens with that. Now, you may have heard of Tyler Perry. This guy's done a lot for the movie industry and for people in general here in Metro Atlanta and in Georgia. Well, to the west of the city in Douglasville, he built a compound that costs reportedly upwards of $100 million. It's on 1,000 acres. It's got its own private airstrip. Property is over 40,000 square feet. It's got a private chapel. Absolutely beautiful. Now, with that private runway, he shows up on aviation charts. Most people hope to be on Google Street View. This man shows up on pilot maps. Now, before we move to the other areas, because there's some really amazing areas that are still left.
Sorry, I have to just comment and say, if you have everything in your house, like if you have all of this in your house, so many rooms, everything, you have a airstrip and everything, why would you ever have to leave your house? That's just crazy. I mean, even if I had that type of money, which I definitely never will, like I'm sure of that, I don't think I would live in a house like this. It's just, or maybe I would, I don't know. But that's just absolutely insane to me.
Aviation charts. Most people hope to be on Google Street View. This man shows up on pilot maps. Now, before we move to the other areas, because there's some really amazing areas that are still left on this list, there's one more compound that I want to talk to you about, and it's to the north of the city in Forsyth County, and it's called Le Rêve, which is French for the dream. Now, if Rick Ross has the biggest property on the south side of the city, Le Rêve on the north side of the city is probably the biggest at 47,000 square.
It already sounds like the fanciest, honestly.
Of the city is probably the biggest at 47,000 square feet. Did I mention it comes with its own 18-hole golf course? It also has a theater that replicates the Fox Theater, and there's a 50s diner that was built inside the house. Now, this family spent $50 million building it, and unfortunately, after going through some financial hardship, they had to give it back to the bank in foreclosure. Property since sold in 2011 for $9.5 million. Now, while this next area might not be $50 million hot, it's where Atlanta goes to play. I'm talking about Lake Lanier. Now, people go to the lake to play, but the north side is where they stay. These aren't just weekend cabins. We're talking about $8 million estates with private deep water lots and resort style pools in the backyard. You can boat to dinner, host 200 people, and still be in downtown Atlanta in less than an hour. But some buyers want more than lake life. No, they want championship golf with their coffee in the morning. Halfway between Atlanta and Augusta, Reynolds Lake Oconee solved that problem. It's a Ritz-Carlton resort that you can actually live in with 6 championship golf courses. And word on the street is pro golfer Zach Johnson lives here. There's a new custom home listed right now for $12.7 million in Richland Point. You can fish at sunrise and play Augusta quality golf by lunch, and the membership includes people who could buy and sell companies in between holes. Now, I hear that the golf is so good here that it almost justifies the HOA fees. Almost. But if HOA fees aren't your thing, this next area makes them almost irrelevant, because who needs to worry about HOA fees when you can own your own mountain? Now,
This is crazy. I would definitely want to own my own mountain. I'm excited about that part, but like, some people live like this, guys. Isn't that crazy? Like, what in the world? That is so cool. Like, wow, some people have the privilege to live like that. I mean, they work their way there, but damn, just wow.
that brings us to the North Georgia mountains. I'm talking about Blue Ridge, Clarksville. These are the mountain towns that Atlanta's elite go to completely disappear. Modern mountain estates with walls of glass, views that stretch into Tennessee. Recent sales that have hit $8 to $10 million for properties so remote that Amazon Prime becomes Amazon eventually. They're even adding.
This is where I would live if I could. This is where I would live, like in the mountains. That would be so cool.
Helipads now, because when your backyard feels like a national park and your closest neighbor is at least a mile away, that 2-hour drive to Atlanta feels very unnecessary. One estate even has its own zipline course, because when you own your own mountain, walking down it is apparently too pedestrian. No, these aren't retreats anymore, they're kingdoms, and this next place makes even these kingdoms look small. If there's one address that signals generational wealth in Georgia, that's Sea Island. This is where presidents vacation, it's where royalty stays, and $10 million, well, that's just the starting price for oceanfront.
What was that?
The starting price.
What is this? Can't be a house, right? That's like a conference room, and this is like another conference room with a piano in a glass ball with plants. Imagine having that, like, just like next to your living room. What?
For oceanfront. Here's what most people don't know. In 2004, the G8 summit was held here. World leaders considered the White House, Camp David, anywhere else in the world. Yet they chose this little Georgia island to host their conference to talk and to reshape global economic policy. Right now, architect John Portman's former estate is currently listed on the market for $40 million. It's over 12,000 square feet on 2.32 acres of oceanfront property. It's never been offered to the public until now. And then you've got the Cloister Resort, which sets the standard for hospitality across the country. Your neighbor to the north, none other than Hank Paulson, the former Treasury Secretary. He helped navigate the 2008 financial crisis and decided to buy an island. But Sea Island, it isn't just exclusive, it's owned by billionaire Philip Anschutz, who also happens to own the Broadmoor in Colorado. But this isn't luxury real estate anymore, it's legacy real estate. So were you expecting any other areas to make the list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're gonna watch more videos today, YouTube really thinks you should watch this one next. A couple years ago.
This is just crazy. Like, these houses are absolutely crazy. I mean, I was expecting to see mansions, but I wasn't expecting to see all of this. I mean, imagine having your whole mountain, a whole mountain with a zip line. How much fun would that be? Actually, like, they're probably like used to it. You know, if you were married or something, you'd get mad at your wife, then you just go down the zip line like to the other side of the mountain. That's funny. Oh, that is so freaking cool. Wow. I wish, guys. I wish. Maybe one day we'll get there. Wow, that was an insane video though. Thank you guys for joining me for this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to leave your nickname suggestions in the comments, by the way.